Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Transformers deck building game unboxing. This is for the Infiltration Protocol. So this is a full expansion, so it requires one of the two starter decks, either the Autobots themed Transformers deck building game or the standalone sequel, A Darkness Rising, to the Decepticon set. So you can buy either one of them and add this to it, or you can buy both of them, add this to both of them, mix all three together. What this basically does is it adds more Autobots, more Decepticons, so you get more characters to play as. You get extra couple cards for, in the decks, in the base game decks. But it also adds in, so it also lets you play the team mode. So you can play 1v1 or 2v2 Autobots versus Decepticons mixed with either base sets. If you don't own both base sets, this is an easy way to also access getting in there. But it also adds the Infiltration Mode. The Infiltration Protocol variant mode, which is actually kind of just an interesting, different way to play the game as well. So I'm not going to go over the rules of how I'll play this because this is an expansion. You kind of want to go check out one of the other two videos. But basically going to add this extra infiltration mode. So you're going to do is you're going to set up your matrix basically like normal. There's a little bit of a difference in there. But then each one is going to have special bosses, level 3 bosses, and special sites that you have to use per each one, and then you're going to have infiltration schemes or infiltration protocols. Basically, one are for the Decepticons to beat, one are for the Autobots to defeat. Now, if you're just playing this like normal, like, one team, you're just playing Autobots, just playing Decepticons, that's perfectly fine. If you want to play versus, though, as a team, then you'll have both sets of these out at the same time. So it's actually kind of a neat way to play that as well. And there's all these extra different rules on how to do setup, adding certain things here and there. Which I do not add any of the level 3 bosses, because you're basically going to do boss 1, boss 2, and then boss 3 are special ones you have to fight. Which then you have to use special infiltration phase cards, which are numbered 1 through 6. You always play them in order. So if you're only playing one or the other, you just use one or the other. What's also kind of neat about it is, so if you are playing with a team versus team, is that if I'm the Decepticon and I beat my protocol, and it goes away. At the beginning of the next turn, when I defeat mine, the opponent's is also defeated. So basically, like, it's a race to see which team can beat their protocol first, and then whoever wins, they get their bonus for beating it. And then the other one's destroyed. Then the next turn, when the next player would flip theirs up, they get like a 1-turn advantage to start on the next one before the other team. Then they flip it up at the beginning of their turn. And it's a race to see who can beat it first. So it's kind of a neat little interesting thing there. And it says how to win or lose. So either all phase 6 protocol objectives have been complete, or schemes are thwarted, depending on which side you are. In co-op, your team wins. So if you do it, awesome. If you fail to compete or thwart all 6 phases, you lose as a team. Other games, you can calculate VP as normal and determine the winning player or team that way. So basically, once one of all 6 are done, the game ends. But you can lose that way. Also remember, though, if you're playing co-op or team versus team, you have too much damage, you can lose. There's a good example of how some of this works. I'm not going to read through all of that, but I'll hold it there for a second if you want to pause and read it. Make sure I get up to the top. There's number 9 at the top. There are variants you can play. Randomize the orders with 1 through 4 appear. Place 5, 6 at the bottom. But you can shuffle 1 through 4, so you can do that a little bit differently. And you make some modification where you don't destroy the other one. so it becomes more of a race. So that way, like, instead of always staying even, like, you could get an advantage for a couple turns. There's team versus team mode. Some different stuff in there. I'm not going to go through all of this. There's also a brand new 1 versus many mode. So in 1 versus many is a 2 to 3 player game. You can basically adjust players' hand sizes. So if you're playing a 4-player game with 3 Autobots, 1 Decepticon, it would be Decepticon goes, and then 3 Autobots go, then Decepticon goes. Makes it a little bit more challenging. Certain bots are better than others. Like I might not recommend Soundwave because he's, is being versus 3 because he's not really a combatant. So there's some other new cards in here. We have some triple changers and 6 changers, which if you watch the Darkness Rises box unboxing, we did see Astro Train, which is a triple changer. So we'll go back over them when we go to those cards. We have new damage cards, which are also showing in that set. And then there's some clarifications. I don't want to spend a ton of time going through all this. I want to jump into these. Here is basically a little breakdown on what you gotta do. So if you're playing competitive as Autobots, you're going to include these sets. Competitive as Decepticons, include these. Cooperative is either one. Team versus team or 1 versus many. So basically you're playing team or 1 versus many. Don't do any of the schemes. If you're doing cooperative, you're going to do the co-op no matter what. But then you'll pick Autobot schemes or Decepticon schemes. And then other than that, it's just whether you're picking the Autobot, Decepticon bosses or not. But it's also interesting to note that you don't use the relics in cooperative mode. It's the only time you don't use relics. So robots, technology, maneuvers, sights, and allies are always included. Although, with the Infiltration Mode, the allies are included differently. So it says during this setup, you do all the add 2 random ally cards and shuffle these again. Then during step 3, add 2 randoms to stack 1, 1 to stack 2, and 1 to stack 3, then remove the rest. So the allies get spread out as ongoing cards throughout the thing. So that's actually a little bit different as well. Alright. The other thing we're going to go over in this set is we're also going to eventually look at bonus pack number 3. But we'll get to that at the end. So, component-wise, we're going to get our 6 characters and our stands. So we get 3 new Autobots, 3 new Decepticons, and the little stands for them. So, let's just jump in and look at who we get. So, we're going to start off with our Auto Buddies here. Autobots, robots in disguise. Alright, so we have Springer here. He's one of our triple changers. So Springer has each Autobot you play during your turn has +1 move. Autobots in your hand have block. +1 power used only when battling an adversary, and gain 1 Autobot robot on your space. So that's definitely fun. And if we flip him over, he's going to have choose one of Springer's 2 alt modes to place on the top of their space up. So he can become a race car. He has 3 movement, which is one of the highest movements I've seen. Discard 1 card to convert, and then while battling adversaries, -1 power. So now if you notice it says convert, in case you jumped straight from, you missed the Rising Darkness set and you're going right from the base set, or you're just checking this out. Just super quick, I explain it in better detail in a Rising Darkness, so check out that, or go look it up online. But they are using the word convert as opposed to transform, because transform, if it gets used too much as a generic term, it's harder for them to copyright. I believe it's copyright. It's either copyright or trademark, I don't remember which one. The word transformers, when the word transform and transforming is so close to transformers that if they're using it all the time for everything, it's harder for them to hold on to that name as a unique identity. So that's why they started using convert. And it's not just for the card game, it's listed on the toys. If you watch the cartoons, they rarely ever, even not in the last couple of cartoons developed for the few years, they don't say transform too much anymore. They'll say roll out or, like, let's go, but they won't say the iconic phrase of transform and roll out. So it's kind of an interesting little thing there. Alright, anywho, let's go back to it. So he gets -1 power, but he can also flip over, he becomes a helicopter, which gives him 2 movement, flight, and the next card you play this turn has +1 range. So that gives him some different stuff he can do, which is really fun. Does it make him more powerful than other guys? Not necessarily, it just gives him some different options. So we have Preceptor. I honestly shocked when I saw that they made him as one of the main characters. I love him. He's a cool character. I just thought, like, there's so many other, like Hot Rod. Definitely, I don't think Hot Rod's been one in there yet. But, yeah, there's so many other different characters. I'm going to sit there and not be able to name any of them. But yeah, there's other characters I thought they would have went before Preceptor. It's cool. Cards you own with no printed range have range too. Peek any face-up card in the Matrix, you may then flip it face-up. And non-basic cards you control with printed range of 1 or more have +1 power. So he's a nice sniper character. And he turns into a giant microscope. Each time you move onto a space, you may peek at the card at the space, and either flip it face-up or leave it. If you are ambushed, you may convert after it resolves. When battling adversaries, -2 power. So he's even weaker there. And our third Autobot is Cup. Start your turn, you may discard 1 card, then draw 1 card. Destroy 1 card in your discard pile. Target card has +2 power. So he's all about trying to make your deck as efficient as possible. And he turns into his, this guy needs, this is his Autobot, or his Cybertronian truck form, versus, like, in some of the cartoons where he turned into just like a regular Jeep. 2 movement, other Autobot characters in your space avoid ambushes. Will you gain +1 damage from an ambush, draw a card. When battling adversaries, -1 power. Alright, so that is all of those guys. Then we have Decepticons. We have Onslaught here. The first time you play a card with a cost of +5 this turn, draw a card. Each Combaticon you play has +2 powers. So you have Soundwave that uses the mini cassettes. We have Scrapper, which uses the Constructicons, and now we have Onslaught, which uses the Combaticons. So that's really fun. Peek an adjacent card in the Matrix. If it's an Autobot, Robot, reveal it and defeat it. Flip a card in space face down, then flip an adjacent card face up. He transforms into a tanker truck, or a gunner truck, actually. When you convert, reveal the top card of your deck, discard it, or leave it. So definitely interesting. Then we have Bludgeon, the Samurai Warrior. The first maneuver you play this turn has +2 power. Target character in your space resolves an ambush, and gain 1 maneuver in your space. He wants to get maneuvers. And he turns into a tank, which I did not expect when you think of like a samurai character. You may convert. If you do, teleport to an adjacent space, but that's definitely samurai. He's a tank, though, so he turns into a robot somewhere else. So definitely fun. Then our last one is a special one. This is a 6-changer. Instead of the triple changers, he's a 6-changer called SixShot. When you defeat an adversary in your turn, gain 1 energy. Destroy 1 starter you control, you may then gain 1 basic card. Gain 1 Decepticon robot from the Matrix or the destroyed pile. So now he can flip over to his tanker mode. He's a giant base tank, I guess. A battle base? I'm not sure what he is in that one. He is listed as being a tank in this mode. +1 power, range 0 when battling adversaries. But then he has a bunch of other modes. He can change into what do they call this one? An off-road vehicle, I guess, is what they refer to this one as being. 3 movement. When you're first in an ambush during your turn, avoid it. When battling adversaries, -1 power. And then this one will flip over to become the Winged Wolf. Flight, cards you control have +1 range. He can also become a spaceship. Yep, spaceship. So it says discard 1 non-damaged card, teleport to any non-adversary in the Matrix. When battling adversaries, -1 power. And then finally, he can switch into his 6th form. It says 5th alternate, which is just a gun. The next Decepticon you play this turn has +2 power. Yeah, so a bunch of interesting different abilities, kind of neat with them changers. Yeah, are they maybe a little bit more powerful than the other guys? Possibly. Is it really a big deal? No, just choose who you like, because each guy plays a little bit differently. Alright, so up next we're going to get 5 copies of the new damage card called Peacock Jam. So in the Darkness Rising, we saw one of these before. Not this one, but a different damage card. Which is SixShot, I think. I might be wrong on the name. But yeah, so the original damage cards, they basically come out, they sit out and they're ongoing, and they force other players to assist you, or force you to have to take other players' assists, so they gain VP and stuff. These new damage cards, instead, they go into your deck, and then when you're drawn, they do extra stuff on that turn. So the original one lets you not play Energon. This one says you cannot convert. So rather than ongoing messing up your attacking, it messes up your other plans, but it only does it for a turn. At the end of the game, for every 2 damage you own, lose 1 VP. So these just get shuffled into the damage decks. You might draw one of these instead of one of the other ones, which is why if they keep making a couple more of these, it's kind of fun because it gives a little bit different thing. I wouldn't even mind a different ongoing damage card that has like a different ability. That'd be kind of cool too. Another thing just to note with this though, if you are playing like the team versus team or co-op mode where getting 5 damage ends the game, if you have 4 ongoing damage out and you draw one of these cards, you have to play it. And then you automatically lose the game. Because it'll be your 5th one. You don't have time to react or do anything to it. So that's just heads up. But yeah, this is kind of fun. I like that they added extra starter cards. Alright, then let's look at our main deck cards. Let's look at some new Autobots. So of course we're going to get Springer. Maybe just got him in this set. So he has block, you may teleport 1 space. Gain 1 Autobot robot from the destroyed pile. Each other Autobot you control has +1 pile. We have Topspin, who has flight, and each time you flip a card in your face up, each time you flip a card face up in your space, you may convert. Gain X move, where X is equal to the printed move value on another card you control. We have Rack and Ruin. Block places card on top of your deck. The next time you reveal an adversary in your space, +2 power. Confront. Peek the top 2 cards of your deck, then play 1 and discard the other. Cloudburst. Flight. You may destroy 1 card you control and confront or assist, +2 power. And then this is exciting, is we have Steeljaw, who's a mini cassette, which we've had a bunch of them. We've had Laserbeak, Ravage, Frenzy, Rumble. I know I'm missing one more. For sound waves, this is Blasters. So when spending this card's move to enter a space, you may flip a card in that space face down. Peek at 2 adjacent cards, and if either of them are an ally, reveal and gain 1 of them. This is really cool. I like that they have the mini cassette on the other side. They didn't really have any sub-teams on the Autobot side yet. They've had a bunch of different ones for Decepticons. The only thing is Blaster isn't affected by this guy at all. That's kind of the only downside. Alright, here's our Decepticons. So we're going to get Bludgeon. On your turn, you may attack target player within range, resolves an ambush. Confront, assist, target, maneuver. Any player controls has +2 power. Octo Punch. Block, draw 1 card. If you play this card while on a site, it has +2 power and +1 range. Confront, +8 power, then resolve 1 extra boss confrontation. Blast Off. These are one of our Combaticons to go with our Onslaught. Flight. Next time you are ambushed this turn, you may teleport to an adjacent space to avoid it. Assist, +2 power. We have Swingle, another Combaticon. Display each robot from the destroyed pile. In any order, you may choose each other player to gain 1 displayed card, and the rest, and you gain those cards' rewards. Destroy the rest. Buy 1 card from the destroyed pile for half the cost, rounded down. And our final one is Carnivac. Block. During your turn, you may attack. Target character within range discards 1 card. If blocked, discard this card. Target player discards 1 card. We have some allies here. We have the Reapers. Ongoing, gain 1 damage and discard this card. You may pay 3 less power to battle an adversary during your turn. Garnak. Ongoing, you may discard this card to block an attack against any character in the Matrix. When a boss reveal attack would cause this ally to be discarded, keep it in play instead. Mayhem. Ongoing, spend 1 Energon to play the top card of your deck. Double Deal. She's our ally of the robot side of extra, so that's kind of fun too. Ongoing, you may defeat non-adversary robots and buy adversary robots. Players may steal this card from you during their turn by spending 4. And some local resistance fighters. Ongoing, you may use this as your assist during the battle. If you do, discard this card at the end of the battle. Assist. 2 power at range 1. The assist remains face up and always resolves first. And then we have 2 copies of each of these. We have 2 technologies. We have high voltage electric cannon. You may gain X damage, max 3, draw 1 at a time to gain X power. At the end of the game, if the game ends this turn due to damage, lose 2 VP and destroy 1 card you control. This is kind of a fun one that you can use it to gain some extra damage to do extra power. But again, the ones you have to like co-op and stuff, like we're about having extra damage, you really gotta watch this one. We have the Pretender Shell. Block, you avoid ambushes and cannot gain damage this turn. Return 1 damage you control to the stack. We have some maneuvers. We have Kill Shot. Confront. You may play this card after all cards including assists are resolved and the adversary is still not defeated. If this card defeats an adversary this way, gain 1 VP. Assist. Gain 1 power. Gain 1 VP if the adversary is defeated. And Orbital Bounce. Maneuver, Flight, and Block. Peek at 2 cards in the Matrix, flip 1 of them face up. And then we have some relics. We get 1 copy of each of the relics. We have Talisman. Block. All players avoid this attack and gain 1 Energon for each player who avoid the attack this way. Technology control have +2 power, +1 range, +1 move, and flight. And then Onyx Triptych. Choose 1. Peek at your top 3 cards of the main deck and arrange them in any order, or pay 2 less power to defeat 1 robot this turn, or put 1 robot card from your vault in your discard pile. And then we have some new sites. Energon Stockpile. Place 4 Energon from the general supply on this card. Discard for each player in the game. Discard X cards, gain X Energon. When empty, this is destroyed. The Underwater Base. Pay 1 to move to enter or leave the space unless teleporting. You cannot use flight to do so. You avoid all attacks while on this site. Start of the turn, draw one card, and your cards have -3 range this turn. Also, you may ignore other start of turn effects. And Tunnel Network. Pay 2 to move, teleport to any space with a face-up card in the Matrix, or pay 6 to destroy this and gain 2 VP. So definitely interesting. Extra Energon sites are really cool. If for no other reason than you opt which ones you want in the deck now, because there's so many different ones. Hey, do we want a lot of Energon? So you can play a lot of Energon abilities. Do we want little Energon abilities? Like it's scarce, hard to find. So you can kind of tailor it that way. Alright, then we're going to look at the Decepticon, Steam, and Initiative cards. So you have Conflagration. Ongoing, when you flip a card face up in your space, gain 1 damage. To thwart, contribute 4 cards from the vaults. For each card you do, gain 1 VP, and 1 card that costs a +2 from the destroyed pile. So this is the one the Autobots have to defeat, and what's fun about adding these extra little ones in just with these decks is, hey, it's something different you can shuffle in there, maybe make the game a little bit harder. So for the Decepticons to defeat, we have Wreck and Rule. Ongoing, when an adversary is defeated, place a +1 power token on each remaining adversary in the Matrix. Their cost is increased by this much. To thwart, defeat an adversary with at least 2 +1 power tokens on it. And then we have another cooperative scheme, the Alpha Scenario. Start of the turn, if you control +1 allies, you gain 1 damage. Ongoing, allies you control have blank text. To thwart, contributing a non-starter cards with a combined printed power cost of +6. And then we have some new bosses. So we got three different ones for each group. We have level 1 Brawl. Reveal, gain 1 damage, resolve ambush. Start a turn. If you have +2 Energon, discard 1 card. If you have 4+ Energon, discard 2 instead. Thundercracker. Reveal, discard 1 ally you control, then ambush. Ongoing, when ambushed by a non-boss adversary attack, lose 1 VP before drawing the encounter. And then finally, Thunderwing. Reveal, put 5 Energon on this. You cannot confront this boss while it has Energon on it. While in range of this space, you may pay X power to steal 1 Energon for every 2 power you spend. Start your turn, put 1 of your Energon on this card if you cannot gain 1 damage. So you gotta take Energon off this quick. So basically it costs you 10 Energon to get rid of all of them, but every turn you have to put 1 more on there. Very interesting. So then our Autobots are Roadbuster. Reveal, discard 1 ally you control, then gain 1 damage. Adversary players, you gain discard an ally this way, resolve ambush. Ongoing, draw 1 fewer cards at the end of your turn. We have Broadside. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck and discard. Reveal Decepticons, then resolving ambush. Start your turn. If you have +2 Energon, gain 1 damage. If you have +4, gain 2 damage instead. And finally, we have Impactor. Reveal your hand. Discard all revealed starter cards, then resolving ambush. Start your turn, discard 1 card for each Autobot robot in the Matrix, max 3. If none, gain 1 damage. Yeah, so some of these new characters that you're fighting against, as well as some of the ones you're playing as for the Autobots, are the Wreckers, who are an elite Autobot task force who are always ready to fight. And that's kind of some. So kind of neat though. Like I wish they would get some of these guys, like them, and the Insecticons, like their little key phrases too. That would have been cool. But they didn't, so that's alright. Alright, so then the last thing we want to go through for this set before we go to the promo pack are the stuff for Infiltration Mode. So we have special sites that you're going to end up playing with, depending if you're playing Autobots or Decepticons. So here we have Metroplex. So ongoing, pay 3 or more power to defeat an Autobot robot adjacent to this card. Autobot bosses cannot be defeated. Autobots only, pay 2 Energon to destroy all non-boss cards adjacent to the space, then move this site to that empty space. And then the Decepticons get the Siege Armature. Ongoing, you pay 2 or more power to defeat Decepticon robots, and 2 less power to defeat Autobot robots. Decepticon bosses cannot be defeated. Decepticons only pay 3 power, flipping adjacent face up card face up or face down. Alright, so those are just 2 extra little locations we get attached to the bosses. So then, now we're going to have either the Infiltration Protocols or the Infiltration Schemes. So the Protocols are what the Decepticons have to take care of, and the Schemes are what the Autobots have to take care of. And they're going to be different, which is really cool. So we have Phase 1, Infiltrate. They're all going to be named the same, but they have different effects. So ongoing, Decepticons cannot convert to bot mode. Objective, buy and or defeat 2 different non-basic card types in a single turn. Agitate, start a turn. If you do not control +1 allies, gain 1 damage. Objective, during your turn, under a combined +3 allies are either under the Decepticon player control or or in the destroyed pile. Escalate, start your turn, reveal the top card of the main deck. If it's a boss, place in the matrix, otherwise destroy it. Objective, +2 Decepticons. Play +2 Decepticons this turn or any 3 different non-starter cards. Penetrate, flip the card of your space face down. If it's already face down, gain 1 damage. When you flip a card in the matrix face up, if there are now no face down cards in the matrix, that one's going to be really tricky to do. Siege Mode, place Metroplex site face up in the matrix as if it were a boss, then shuffle 1 random level 3 Autobot boss into the top 5 cards of the main deck. Objective, contribute non-duplicate cards while in the Metroplex until there is a combined power of 6+. For each card contributed, gain 1 VP. Destroy Metroplex. That's how you get rid of those. And then we have Full Invasion. On reveal, when Autobot bosses in the Matrix, all adversary players gain +1 damage. Otherwise, reveal and destroy the top card of the main deck until you reveal a boss, then place it as usual. You cannot confront a level 3 Autobot boss while there are adversaries in the Matrix. Objective, defeat a level 3 boss. And then the Autobot side is start of the turn, football face up robot, Decepticon robots in the Matrix face down. If you do, for each you do, gain 1 damage. To flip +2 adversaries face up in a single turn. Phase 2 is start your turn, destroy 1 ally you control. If you do, gain a VP. Ongoing, pay 1 more power to buy cards and 2 more to buy allies. To thwart, during your turn there are 3 allies in the destroyed pile. Phase 3, at the start of your turn, reveal the top card of the main deck. If it's an adversary, place in the matrix as if it were a boss, otherwise destroy it. To thwart, when there are no face-up adversaries in the matrix after defeating one this turn. Phase 4, when the space in the matrix becomes empty during your turn, immediately refill it with a new card, then flip it face down. During your end of your turn sequence, ignore the refill the matrix step. To thwart, blocking ambush during your turn. Siege Mode, place Siege Amateur site face up in the matrix as if it were a boss. Shuffle 1 random Decepticon Phase 6er boss into the top 5 cards of the deck. So you get special bosses to fight for the Decepticons. To thwart, contribute a non-duplicate cards while in the Siege Armature until there's a combined power of +6 for each card you contribute, gain 1 VP. And then Phase 6, if Decepticon Phase 6er bosses in the Matrix, All adversaries gain 1 damage. Otherwise, reveal the top card until you reveal a boss. You cannot confront a Decepticon phase 6 or boss while the other adversaries in the Matrix. To thwart, defeat a Decepticon phase 6 or boss. So what's interesting here is the Decepticons just have to be a level 3 Autobot, which in this set, what we had, Impactor, I think. Then you also had like Optimus, Ultra Magnus, and Omega Supreme. I think are the 4 different ones you can get so far. This one actually includes special phase 6 or bosses. So a normal level 3 boss takes 10 to beat. So like Impactor takes 10, or even if we look at like Thunderwing, he only takes 10. So they're a little bit easier to beat than a phase 6er, because phase 6ers are going to cost, I'm going to get rid of these guys, are going to cost 12. So 2 more. I mean, not a ton more, but it's 2 more. They're also still listed as level 3, so you could place them in play at level 3 so for a little bit higher difficulty. But they also have special for this mode. So here we have Black Shadow. Reveal attack. Move 1 space away from the space and gain 1 damage. Ongoing. When you play a 2nd card during your turn, gain 1 damage. You play a 5th card during your turn, gaining additional 1 damage. And then the other one we have is SixShot. So that's why we didn't see him earlier. So he has reveal attack, discard each ally you control, then resolve an ambush. At the start of your turn, gain 1 damage, and then draw the top card of the SixShot deck and resolve its effect. So these are going to have special purple backs. You're going to have 6 of them for all of his different modes. So basically what this is going to do is determine what mode you're fighting him in. You could fight him in his bot mode, which has you resolve an ambush. His alt modes, you can have off-road vehicle. It says ongoing Autobot players cannot play assist. This card stays in play till the end of this turn. His winged wolf form. Move SixShot to the nearest Autobot character not on a space of the Decepticon or Steam if possible. Then destroy the card in that space. Then resolve an ambush against all Autobots in that space. His gun. All Autobot characters on or adjacent to SixShot gain 1 damage. Spaceship. Decepticon characters may teleport to any space. Ongoing. Cards with range 0 cannot be used to confront, assist in a battle against SixShot. This card stays in play till the end of turn. Or his tank, which just makes you discard a card. So that's actually a really interesting way to go, boss. I wish they would have at least done the opposite way with Springer, and had at least like the double change, like, you know, that phase 6er there would have been kind of neat if they would have had like phase 3er, and then that way you could have fought like Springer and then like maybe had somebody else. I think that would have been cool. The Autobots kind of got left out of that, but maybe what they'll do is in I know the other expansion that's coming out is Dinobots. So maybe that one will maybe, like, if this one's leaning kind of sort of towards heavy on the Decepticon side, that might maybe lead a little bit more towards the Autobots. You know, might do something more with the Dinobots teaming up or something. I'm not for sure. Of course, I know there's also Devastator in there, so that's going to add a new twist as well. Alright, so that is what we have for Infiltration Protocol. So before we end the video, we're going to look at the promo pack, which is bonus pack number 3, because this is the 3rd set that's come out. Like I've said in the previous videos, if you follow along with the Renegade games, and these are G.I. Joes, Power Rangers, stuff like that, and you pre-order, you'll get these packs for free. If not, you can usually buy them in their store. They come a while after the games. They're usually available for a limited time, but they come back and forth. I think like when they reprint some of them. Well, you do find them like $5 a piece or so. So they are at least available. So what are we getting in this set? We're going to get some interesting stuff. So this, again, ties into the Infiltration Protocol. So we're going to get a promo cards here for Ultra Magnus. So now you can play as him. You just promo on the bottom. So each time you activate an Energon ability on a card you control, that card has +1 power. Put one robot in your space in your vault. This is not defeating it. Or destroy one robot in your vault to gain power equal to its printed cost. You can flip him over, convert him into his truck mode, who has 2 movement, and when you first convert to bot mode, just turn and draw a card. So he kind of just wants to go here and go back into his other one. Then we're going to get, for the villains, we're going to get Skywarp. So now we can play as all 3 of the Seekers. We have Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream. Isn't there I thought there's a 4th one. I thought there's 3 other Seekers. Skywarp, Thundercracker, I thought there's one more. I have to go through all of them. My Transformer knowledge is waning in these days. The first time you play a starter during your turn, you may flip an adjacent card face up. Destroy one card in your hand, you may then convert. Target player discards their hand and draws an equal amount -1. And when he converts over, flight, when you convert, you may teleport to any space in the Matrix instead. If you cannot convert for any reason, you cannot use this ability. It's like Peacock Jam, for example. Alright, so now we're going to get those. Of course, we're going to get the little standees with them. So we'll get those. And we are also going to get some extra cards. So the other sets, usually you get your character cards, and then you get some... and then you get like extra like in-game, like main deck cards. We're going to get some extra boss cards. So we're going to get an extra phase 6er boss. So this is kind of fun because it gives us a 3rd different option to play. Because since before you're replacing, again, the Autobots are using any of the level 3s, and the Decepticons using a phase 6er. So now you have 3 different phase 6ers to choose from. So at least it gives you a couple different options, in case maybe you don't want to deal with SixShot in his different forms all the time. So we have Overlord here, who's of course our, badass here. I don't even know who he is. I was thinking non-stop, but no, this is Overlord. So reveal your hand, then discard all robots, then resolve the ambush. Start your turn, gain 1 damage. Ongoing, you cannot return damage to the stacks until you take care of him. You're going to keep gaining damage, and you can't return damage, so you need to defeat him quick. Then the other thing we're going to get is a special mode. The Garrison 9 Prison Break. There's been a prison break at Garrus 9 Prison Detention and Rehabilitation Facility. Both Autobots and Decepticon players must hunt down the escaped adversaries and return them to the facility. Once combined 7 robots or bosses, regardless of fraction, have been returned to the prison, the scheme is thwarted. The special faction-neutral scheme that can be included in any mode of play: co-op, competitive, team versus team, or one versus many. And it works with both Autobots and Decepticons. However, it is not intended to play with the Infiltration Phase variant. So it's kind of neat. So this comes with that set, but it's not meant for that set. Which I actually find really fun as well. Because here's a promo card with a thing that works for that set. Here's something that doesn't work with it. Kind of like all the rest of the main set cards didn't necessarily have to be for that set. You can randomly shuffle this card in your main deck. You would any Steam or Initiative, but for more thematic setup, follow these steps. Playing with Autobots, players use the Overlord as your level 3 boss. If you're playing Decepticons, use Impactor. So both of them from this promo pack and the regular set. After shuffling your stacks, place Garrus 9 Prison Break on the top of stack 2 before combining them. Note, this special scheme has the term boss in the card type, meaning you must treat them like a boss for purposes of placement in the matrix, destroying cards, and in endgame conditions. Even if all bosses are defeated, the game does not end if the scheme has not been thwarted. And then here's the scheme itself. Treat this card like a boss you would go forward. Ongoing. Do not enter the space while an adversary is in the matrix. You may pay 2 more power to defeat. You pay 2 more power to defeat robots. To thwart. Contribute 7 bosses and your bosses from your vault. For each one you contribute, gain 1 VP. If a robot you contribute was defeated this way, gain 2 VP instead. And then Ubicus is gain 1 non-adversary robot from under this. If any, destroy the rest. So that's fun, an extra little different mode. That's something, again, I like seeing this because that's just showing more gameplay space they can do. Like they had Autobots, and then they had Decepticon, and stuff crossed over. Cool. That was kind of to be expected. But then they had this Infiltration, which is another entire game mode that works within the regular game. Now here's like a little special mode they can add. This is a little extra thing they could keep adding with extra little promo packs all the time. The only thing I'm gonna hope, I kind of hope in the future, with these promo packs, is I hope they kind of quit including these. Not that it's not nice to get a couple extra of these, but like, you already had 6 in each base game, so even if I only bought 1 base game, I had 6 of these. Which, it's a 5-player game. I'm never going to need more. I think I'm going to be only at 5. Maybe only at 5, whatever. But I can't ever have more than 5 characters out. So if you're playing team versus team, okay, it makes sense to have more in each of the base games. And it even makes sense to have the stack for Infiltration Protocol, because that way if you bought that set with that, that's kind of cool. But now, after this, between the 3 sets, and also having, and then having the 3 expansion packs, all having 1 for each character, I have enough. So if they actually did that, it would make the booster packs flatter, which would help also prevent, like, maybe damage in the cards, having these big chunky things in there. Because, I mean, you still gotta include these little guys, which take up a little bit of room. But they're not going to really wreck any cards. So I just kind of hope they stop including them, because I really don't need any more at this point. Because if I even have 5 in each base set, and then 6 in this set, so that's, 16, plus I have 17, 18, 19, 20 of them, or so, if not more, I'm good. Thanks, guys. Alright, that's what we have for Infiltration Protocol. At some point, I'll probably do a comparison video between all the different things and just see what all the different characters mix and match between each sets. I might wait till the Dinobot set comes out. I might do it beforehand. Alright, see you guys later. Check out my other videos. Bye.